I just finished ripping into a full case of hobby boxes of 2025 Topps Chrome as a part of my rip and flip over on Whatnot, where we rip the boxes and then sell the singles from the boxes, all starting at $1. Here are the biggest hits from the full case, as well as my thoughts on 2025 Topps Chrome. Now, I've ripped into the full case, so 12 hobby boxes, as well as one jumbo box. So I have a good sample size now to give a deeper thought on the product and what I think of it, as well as I'm going to show you guys how much money we made off of ripping into this full case by doing our rip and flip. So let's get to the hits and then talk some numbers. First and foremost, we pulled 6 between the hobby boxes and the jumbo hobby boxes. Pulled 6 of the MVP buybacks, assuming that Ohtani and Judge were to win it. So in theory, that's $120. I sold 3 of them, and I have 3 that, either I missed while I was sorting through boxes or just held back because it's fun to have something to trade in. Now for the hits. So the very first one, nothing crazy, but it did sell fairly well. We got some big Yankees fans. Will Warren on the Blue Lava. This is probably one of the better just numbered cards that we pulled on the rookie. We did pull a Mookie Betts photo variation. Very, very cool there. In addition to the Yordan Alvarez photo variation. So got lucky to hit 2 of those in one case. Ben Rice on the rookie auto, just the base, but I think this was the second best auto that we pulled, because the best auto that we pulled was the Drake Baldwin out of $299. Now, you can debate whether Ben Rice or Drake Baldwin are a better player, but this one sold for more than the Ben Rice. Not significantly more, but it sold for more. Baldwin, great looking auto. One of the crazy ones is this Shohei Ohtani Shadow Etch. Now, these are new inserts this year. Super, super cool. This was flirting with whether or not I was going to auction this off, and we in chat agreed to a rule with this rip and flip that basically it's a 2/3 majority rule. Chat gets to decide if there's a debate whether or not we are going to sell a card. This one was more in the 70% yes, 30% no. So this one we started off, sold it at $1. I think it did $370. So very first comp on it, no clue what these are going to go for. What is a card worth? Somebody's willing to pay, and we had somebody that really, really liked it. I can't blame them because it was a beautiful card. We did manage to hit a James Wood home field advantage. Topps Chrome. Crazy, crazy, crazy cool card. This one I did keep for myself. Again, put it up to a vote. That one is much closer. We had 64 to 36, but it just fell short of that 2/3 majority. So we're keeping this one, and we're going to grade this James Wood. I think it looks good from my quick look at it during the stream. And then the monster of the night was the Shohei Ohtani Red Wave numbered 5 out of 5. This came out of the very first hobby box. I'm going to try and get a clip of this, see if I can go back on my past shows and whatnot. I'm not positive I'll be able to. If I am able to, here's a clip of us pulling this card. But if not, it was insane to start off the box, to start off the case with an Ohtani Red out of 5. Bonkers. So this one is like a 1,000+ easy card. It is an MVP buyback card. Technically, Topps would pay me $200 for this, but it's worth a lot more than $200. So this one was pretty unanimous. We're holding this one. We're going to grade this at the National. And my hope and goal is to be able to grade this, flip it, and then use that money to hopefully help pay for that Shohei Ohtani rookie auto that we are chasing here. So those are all the hits. Let's talk now. Actually, let's talk in the morning. For you, it's going to be now. I'm going to go to bed because it's late and then film the rest of this video. But let's talk about how profitable this case was and whether or not I would do this again. My thoughts on Topps Chrome as a product this year. Is it overhyped, underhyped, overvalued, undervalued? So let's get to that. Okay, first, to give you guys the breakdown as to how profitable the rip and flip was. And reminder, we do have some of the cards that we are keeping, like the Ohtani Red, as well as the awesome James Wood home field advantage. But this rip and flip, I sold all the cards from the 12-box hobby box case, and then also all of the cards from my jumbo hobby box that I opened on the page here for some content. So the jumbo hobby box, I bought direct from Topps on the website for $400, really $399.99, but we're going to call it $400. And then the hobby case was $2,400. So all in all, we spent $2,800 on Topps Chrome boxes in order to make the content and then do the rip and flip where we could sell the singles. Now let's jump on over to Whatnot, show you guys the screenshots there. So overall, throughout the stream, we had a total of 204 orders with estimated sales being $3,753 after fees, after coupons, after anything else, all the things that you get hit with. I walked away with $3,294.92. So all in all, we made just under $500 in profit while also getting to, keep these really, really sweet cards that we're going to get to hopefully grade at the National that we will then be able to flip and continue to do more with. So all in all, to profit $500 is pretty solid in my mind. Not going to complain there at all, especially considering that we still have those two cards. The one caveat and flag that I'll give there, though, is that, you're not guaranteed to hit those. That's the risk of the rip and flip. Had we not had a decent case, had that red wave been a no-name relief pitcher, had we hit the shadow edge Ohtani, if that had not been Ohtani and that had been, a Ketel Marte, good player, doesn't have a huge market, that probably would have done $80 versus $300+ Had our home field advantage been a middle-of-the-road guy versus the best one that you can pull. There's a lot of ifs that are involved, and I mean, that's the risk that you take when you open up a box. Clearly, we did positive here. I was able to walk away relatively in the green without these big pulls. The big pulls to me are just the luck and the icing on the cake. Had that not been the case, had we not had any really big pulls, had it really been a dud case, which I want to talk about my overall thoughts on the product in a second here, my guess is that we would have lost a little money here, which is not the end of the world. I view the rip and flips more from an entertainment and, channel and page growth perspective versus a profit-making venture. And sometimes you have those things that aren't necessarily profitable, but this time it did work out in our favor, which is very, very nice. I'm not so confident, though, that if I were to do it again, that it would work out in my favor because I just don't know how I feel about 2025 Topps Chrome. And my questionable feelings on Topps Chrome, honestly, is after having ripped a full jumbo, having ripped a full hobby case, I don't think the product is there from a checklist perspective this year. There's great cards, no question about it. There are going to be some amazing hits that people pull, and that goes for every year, that the huge hits are what gets advertised and what gets shown and makes you think, oh, I need to rip a box because I'm going to hit the Ohtani out of 5. If I hit that, that's going to, pay for everything. And you're not wrong, but the statistical, the likelihood that that's going to happen is so, so low. And compared to previous years where you had a really solid rookie class, we pulled one Dylan Cruz base and one Dylan Cruz refractor. We pulled 3 or 4 Jacob Wilson base cards. No Jacob Wilson refractors. We got some inserts, but those aren't anything crazy. We pulled 4 or 5 of the MVP buybacks, assuming that Ohtani and Judge win it, which that's an assumption. And I know they're the favorites, but it's not a guarantee by any sense of the word. If you pull the right cards, yeah, you can do decently well in Topps Chrome. But I think that the floor this year is way lower than previous years because of the depth and the quality of the checklist, the rookie class, etc. I didn't pull, any really good numbered cards outside of that Ohtani and the Will Warren, which Will Warren's a decent card. It's nothing crazy. The fact that made the highlight reel, I think, tells you enough about the case. The rest of our numbered cards were, we got a couple of Stephen Kwans, a Brent Rooker, nothing to really ride home about. So with the checklist, it's not a huge checklist. It's 300 players. But they left out major guys like Cal Raleigh, PCA, etc. in favor of some of these no-name guys. I really don't know that the value that we're playing with right now at $300 a hobby box and about $500 for a jumbo hobby is sustainable. If you are somebody who wants to rip Topps Chrome, who is intent on ripping some Topps Chrome, and hey, I am one of those people. I do it every year. Don't care about the class. I knew that this year was going to be rough compared to last year, but we did it anyways because I wanted to. But if you're somebody who is going to do it but has not bought your boxes yet, my recommendation is wait. Seeing the reality of these boxes, seeing the reality of what I have seen, seeing the reality of watching many, many other breaks, videos on YouTube, TikTok, etc., I really don't know that the value is there Honestly, even at $200. Like, we were able to do decently well. I know, and everybody in chat knows as well, that you do well by selling singles on opening day. There's no way that this rip and flip would work 6 months from now because the market is flooded with singles. Everybody always knows that early comps are higher than the later comps. It's fun, and that's why people do it, and that's why I do it. But I just don't know that the value is there. I don't know that the checklist is there. I mean, had this been a break, there would have been so many teams that would have gotten absolutely cooked. That would have been good teams that would have gotten nothing. The Royals, we pulled 3 Bobby Witt base cards, and that's it. I don't know if Salvador Perez is in the checklist. I don't think I saw him at all. I think I saw 1 Cole Reagan's refractor. Like, Bobby Witt doesn't have any good inserts, at least that aren't, case hits. The Mets, I only saw 3 base Sotos. Had I bought the Mets, and that has dissuaded me from buying into breaks, chasing Soto cards, I'm just going to go buy the singles that I want, as I always recommend to you guys. And I think with 2025 Topps Chrome, more than ever, that's the better way to go. You are going to get way better deals buying the singles of the top players than you will ripping this product, because there is not the high enough floor with a deeper rookie class that can justify and help save you, even with the MVP buyback. So while I had a ton of fun, while we hit some crazy cool cards, and I'm really looking forward to it, we're going to grade the Ohtani and the James Wood at the Nationals, see how we do there. I probably wouldn't do it again. And that says a lot. I had a ton of fun. If you were to say, hey, here's the opportunity to buy another case, had I bought this case at resale, which would have been, what would that be? $300 times 12, that would be $3,600. I would have lost money. Market, I lost money again before these two. I know that. But the resale, and I did very, very well on these singles. I know that I had inserts that sold for over what they're going to sell for. I know that the hype and the fun of a pre-release rip brought people in and brings up the sales. So I just implore you to have a little bit of caution if you're going to be ripping 2025 Chrome, because in my opinion, it's good, not great. You can probably save your money. You can probably do more with your money elsewhere. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the rip and flip recap, the background, showing you guys exactly how much we made. It's a ton of fun. Our next rip and flip, which should be a lot of fun, I'm curious to see if it's a better product that has a smaller checklist, which should be a positive, is 2025 Topps Finest. That shows as a release is August 12th, which is a Tuesday, which is kind of weird, but hey, I'm here for it. Whenever those boxes get to me, we will be doing the rip and flip for Topps Finest over on Whatnot. If you're not already there, you know what to do. Use the link, get yourself $15 off. Come check it out. We had like 300 plus people in the room. We capped out, at 357 people yesterday, which was unreal. So I appreciate you guys checking out this video. It was tons and tons of fun getting to do this Chrome case. I'm looking forward to doing more rip and flips, but I appreciate you guys checking it out. And as always, we'll catch you in the next one.